Being too nice won't make her stay. Here's what actually does. You open doors. You reply fast. You text first. You're always available. You check in, just to show you care. And still, she drifts. You're the one she says is too good for her. And somehow, she's not choosing you. Not fully, not deeply. And you sit there wondering, why is being good not enough? It's because being good doesn't make you wanted. What makes someone want you is who you are when you stop proving your worth. When you stop giving out your presence like a free sample. When you stop turning your heart into a doormat. This isn't about being mean. It's about holding yourself like you're rare, because you are. But until you start treating yourself that way, no one else will. But the men she obsesses over, they treat her differently, in a way that you've been taught to avoid your whole life. Today, we tear that all down, word by word, truth by truth. And if you make it to the end, I promise, you'll never see relationships the same again. Comment, I am the prize, if you're ready to transform. Number 1, you speak with purpose. Most people speak just to be heard. But when you speak, every single word needs to carry weight, like it's the last time you'll be heard. Because if your words don't change the energy in the room, they're just noise. And noise is everywhere. It's free, it's cheap, and it's why most men are ignored, walked over, dismissed in conversations, ghosted after dates, forgotten after pouring their heart out. Because their words meant nothing. They were too quick to respond, too eager to impress, too desperate to connect. And in doing that, they killed the very thing they were trying to create, which is respect. Because no one respects desperation. No one respects a man who talks endlessly just to fill space. No one respects a man who explains himself at every turn, who can't sit with silence, who feels the need to perform. And when you speak with no self-control, it tells everyone that you don't trust the strength of your own presence. It tells her that your words are an act, not a reflection of a solid inner world. And the truth is, most men are terrified of silence because they fear being overlooked. So they overcompensate, they overshare, they ramble, trying to win someone over with words when their presence alone should have said enough. And this is the test most don't even know they're failing. So if you've ever walked away from a conversation thinking you said too much, it's because you did. If you've ever been ghosted after pouring your heart out, thinking you were being authentic, you weren't. You were trying to be accepted, and she could feel that. Because people don't chase what's fully revealed too soon. People don't chase what they feel they've already figured out. And when you give someone the entire puzzle at once, you kill the very curiosity that makes connection feel addictive. So here's what changes everything. You must learn to slow down. You must learn to leave pauses in your conversations, not as a tactic, but because you've trained yourself to be okay with being misunderstood, to be okay with not being approved of instantly, to be okay with saying what needs to be said, and then letting it sit. Because true influence doesn't come from convincing, it comes from conviction, and conviction can't be faked. It's felt. And when you speak with conviction, you don't need to talk over anyone. You don't need to argue your point to the ground. You don't need to prove you're right. Because the man who knows he's rooted in truth is immune to emotional bait. And this is what separates men who get respected from the ones who are ignored. Because the moment you feel the need to explain yourself to someone who's already disrespected you, you've already lost the frame, and no woman will obsess over a man who can't hold his own space. And when you're in a room, whether it's with a friend, a date, a stranger, every word out of your mouth must align with the energy of someone who doesn't need anything from anyone. Someone who speaks when something actually needs to be said, not when he needs validation. And this is why some men never get ghosted, never get interrupted, never have to repeat themselves, because they've learned that speaking with purpose means not trying to manage the reaction of the person they're speaking to. It means they've accepted being misunderstood. It means they don't care if someone disagrees, not because they're arrogant, but because their sense of direction doesn't rely on the approval of people who don't even know where they're going in life. And this is what makes people lean in, not because you raised your voice, not because you had the most jokes or the loudest presence, but because your energy said, "I am here and I am enough without effort." And when your words come from that place, they don't chase attention, they command it. And if you've never experienced that, then today is the last day you ever speak without intention again. Because from now on, you pause before answering, you observe before reacting, you give your words value by not handing them out like candy. And if someone asks you a question that doesn't deserve an answer, you leave it unanswered. Because silence isn't weakness, it's control. And control is what makes someone memorable. And the more you live from this space, the more people around you change. They start listening, they start watching, and they start chasing the emotional security that your stillness gives them. Not because you're trying to be mysterious, but because you've become someone who doesn't need to be loud to be heard. And when you become that, people feel it in your pauses, in your pacing, in your eye contact, and that's how you stop being overlooked. That's how obsession starts. That's how authority is built. Not through volume, but through value. And if you're ready to lock that in deeper and live this every single day without slipping back into the old version of you, then you need to get the Stoic Relationship Blueprint, the guide built for men like you who are done playing small, done guessing, done letting emotions pull them in every direction. Because this isn't just a book, it's a blueprint for your next level, packed with timeless principles you can use the moment you finish the first chapter. And now, it's even easier to start, because it's available in audiobook form, so you can absorb every lesson while you walk, train, drive, or clear your head. And the best part is, it's yours forever. Your personal library of unshakable truth that you can return to anytime life throws you off center. And if you've ever asked yourself why she pulled away when you gave her everything, or why you keep attracting the wrong ones while the right ones don't stay, this audiobook has the answers, the tools, and the shift your life's been waiting for. So click the link in the comments, press play, and let this book rewire the way you lead, speak, and carry yourself from today forward. Number 2, you lead without forcing. Leadership starts the moment you decide you will no longer follow confusion, that you will no longer let the opinions of others hijack your direction, that you are no longer willing to trade your peace for temporary approval. Because most people in your life right now don't actually want you to grow. They just want you to stay the same because it keeps their comfort intact. So when you start walking your own path, when you say no, when you choose discipline, when you cut off distractions, you won't get applause, you'll get pushback, and that pushback is the test, the signal, the initiation into leadership. And if you fold under that pressure, if you go back to people-pleasing, if you soften just to keep being liked, then you'll keep being led by everything except your own mind. And the truth is, people don't follow words, they follow energy. And if your energy says, "I need to be accepted," then no one will ever truly follow you. But when your energy says, "I'm going this way," with or without you, people either fall in line or fall away, and either outcome is a blessing. Because leadership isn't about how many people agree with you, it's about how many people respect you. And respect doesn't come from being available all the time, from being passive, from constantly compromising to keep peace. It comes from being someone who holds the line, who doesn't beg, who doesn't break when things get uncomfortable. And when you start living like that, you'll see the shift instantly. People will stop treating you like an option. They'll start asking for your time instead of assuming they have it. They'll stop talking over you and start leaning in, not because you forced them, but because you led them. And this is where most men get it wrong. They think leadership means controlling others, dominating conversations, always being loud, always being right. But that's not leadership. That's insecurity, and people can feel it, especially women. And that's why they pull back. That's why they lose interest, because they see through the show. They feel when your confidence is forced, and the more you try to prove you're in control, the more obvious it is that you're not, because true control is quiet. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't seek validation. It doesn't crumble under rejection. And when you lead from that place, from that inner clarity, everything begins to change. Not just how people treat you, but how you see yourself, because now your life has structure. Now your days have rhythm. Now your decisions aren't random reactions to how others feel. They're rooted in who you've decided to become. And this is where discipline begins. Not in the gym, not with money, but with decisions, small ones, repeated daily, with no audience, no applause, no recognition, just you, building a foundation so solid that nothing shakes it. Not the silence of being alone, not the temptation of short-term pleasure, not the voice in your head that says, take the easy way, and when someone enters your life, they don't shake your direction, they join it, they align or they leave, but they don't lead, because you already know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, then nothing else matters. You'll keep drifting from job to job, from relationship to relationship, from mood to mood, hoping someone else gives your life meaning. And that's not just unattractive, it's dangerous, because the moment you make someone else the source of your direction, you give them the power to destroy your stability, and they will, not always intentionally, but eventually, because no one should have that much control over your identity. So if you've been waiting for someone to support you before you act, if you've been waiting for a perfect moment to take the lead in your own life, understand this: no one is coming to save you. No one will give you permission to lead. You have to take it quietly, consistently, daily, and the first step is deciding that from this day forward, you no longer negotiate your direction with anyone who isn't moving forward themselves. Because people will always try to make you doubt yourself when you stop being easy to influence. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're selfish. They'll try to guilt you back into the role of the agreeable nice guy who never says no. But the truth is, leadership requires loss. You will lose friends, comfort, even relationships. But what you gain is worth more than anything you lose: your self-respect, your direction, your power. And the moment you become the man who chooses vision over validation, your life starts attracting things you used to chase. People start following your pace instead of pulling you off course. And this is where obsession begins, not because you asked for it, but because leadership is rare and people crave what's rare. So stop over-explaining, stop apologizing for being focused, stop shrinking just to fit into rooms that no longer deserve your presence, and instead, take the lead, because your future depends on it. Number 3, you respect yourself first. Respect isn't something you ask for, it's something you demand through your behavior. And whether you realize it or not, every single day you are teaching people exactly how to treat you based on what you tolerate, what you allow, what you chase, and what you let slide without holding anyone accountable. And when you keep showing up for people who make you an afterthought, when you keep texting someone who ignores you, when you keep giving access to your life to people who haven't earned it, you're telling the world you don't value yourself. And they listen, not with words but with actions. So when you wonder why people flake on you, why they lose interest, why they stop trying, it's because you've already made it clear that you'll accept the bare minimum as long as it means you won't be alone. And that's the truth. Most won't admit to themselves because the idea of sitting in silence, of being alone with their own thoughts, of actually facing the reflection of the life they've allowed themselves to accept, is too terrifying. So they keep chasing, they keep giving, they keep lowering their standards, hoping someone will see their worth through sacrifice. But sacrifice without value is self-destruction. And if the only way you can keep someone is by constantly proving you're worthy of their time, then you were never truly respected to begin with. Because real respect isn't earned through desperation. It's maintained through self-discipline. And this is where your entire mindset must shift. Instead of asking why she's not treating you better, Ask yourself why you're still allowing it. Instead of wondering when she'll realize your worth, realize that she doesn't need to. Because the moment you respect yourself enough to walk away from disrespect, you win. And that win isn't external, it's internal. It's the kind of win that builds your character. The kind that teaches you that being alone is 1,000 times better than being drained by someone who only sees you as an emotional vending machine. And every man who's ever been deeply disrespected in a relationship had a moment where they saw the red flags, where they felt that gut instinct, where they knew they were giving too much and receiving too little, but they ignored it. They made excuses. They told themselves, she's just busy, she's just confused, she's just having a rough time. And in doing that, they signed a silent agreement to be taken for granted. And that agreement doesn't expire until you cancel it with action, not with talk, not with empty threats, but with cold, calm, unwavering action. The kind where you don't argue, don't announce your boundaries, don't beg for change, you just leave. Because people respect what they lose when they didn't expect to. And if you've ever been in a position where you stayed longer than you should have, where you gave more than you received, where you tried to fix something that was clearly broken, understand this. The reason you stayed wasn't love. It was fear. Fear of starting over, fear of being alone, fear of feeling like all the time and energy you gave was for nothing. But the truth is, it wasn't for nothing. It was a lesson. And the lesson is this. Never again will you let someone treat you like an option while you treat them like a priority. Never again will you give all of yourself to someone who hasn't even proven they deserve a piece of your time. And never again will you trade your peace for potential, because potential is worthless if it doesn't show up in reality. And if she says she'll change but never does, if she says she cares but keeps hurting you, if she says you mean something but treats you like nothing, then it's not confusion, it's clarity, and the only thing that's missing is your courage to act on it. So what does self-respect actually look like in action? It looks like keeping your word to yourself even when no one is watching. It looks like choosing to walk away from drama even when your emotions are screaming for closure. It looks like deleting the number, unfollowing the account, blocking access to your peace not out of pettiness, but out of protection, because your energy is sacred, and once you start treating it that way, people will too. It looks like having standards so clear that you don't need to explain them. People feel them the moment they enter your life. And it looks like not explaining your worth to anyone, because people who truly see it don't need a presentation, they just know. And when you finally reach the point where your peace, your growth, your goals come before any relationship, you become untouchable, not in a loud, cocky, arrogant way, but in a grounded, peaceful, self-contained way that radiates strength without effort. And that's what pulls real respect, real loyalty, real admiration. Not because you asked for it, but because you became the kind of man who naturally receives it. So from today, you set the standard. You don't lower yourself to be seen. You don't chase anyone who walks away. And you don't entertain disrespect disguised as just being emotional. Because the moment you accept excuses for behavior that drains you is the moment you teach people how to keep doing it. And every time you give in, you're sending a message that your peace is negotiable, but it's not. Not anymore. Because once you've tasted what it feels like to wake up without anxiety, to go to bed without overthinking, to live your day without wondering if someone's mood will shift your emotional state, you realize that nothing is worth disturbing that kind of peace. And if that means being alone until someone comes into your life who respects your standards, then so be it. Because waiting in peace is better than suffering in chaos. And the moment you truly, deeply respect yourself, you stop chasing people who don't. You stop explaining yourself to people who refuse to listen, and you stop apologizing for choosing yourself first, because the version of you who continues to sacrifice his value just to feel loved is not the version who's going to change your life. The one who does is the one who decides that being alone isn't a problem. It's preparation. It's purification. It's becoming the person who no longer begs for love because he knows how to give it to himself. And when you become that version, people treat you different, not because they've changed, but because you finally did. Number 4, you stay calm under pressure. Emotions are loud, but control is louder. And when you live in a world where people react to every trigger, where they explode the second their feelings get poked, where they turn arguments into competitions and disagreements into disasters, the man who stays still becomes magnetic, not because he's passive, but because he's composed, because nothing shakes him, because he's spent time training his reactions to serve him instead of sabotage him. And this is what separates those who lead from those who follow. Because if your emotions are your master, you'll be owned by everyone who knows how to push your buttons, and that includes the people closest to you, especially the ones who test you. Not because they're evil, but because they don't even trust a man who can't hold himself together when things get tense. And this is the silent filter that most men fail without even knowing it. Because every time you lash out when she's emotional, every time you argue with intensity instead of clarity, every time you raise your voice just to be heard, you lose more than just the argument. You lose respect, you lose power, and you lose the opportunity to build something worth having. Because the truth is, people don't trust what's unstable, they don't follow what's reactive, they don't open up to what feels unsafe. And when your energy shifts with every change in tone, every disagreement, every delay in response, what you're really saying is that your peace is fragile, your decisions are temporary, and your identity is reactive to the moment instead of rooted in principle. And this is the deep problem that lives behind the arguments, behind the ghosting, behind the confusion. You think the issue is her words, her tone, her silence, but the real issue is that you haven't built the emotional strength to remain centered when tested, and tests will come, not just from others but from life itself. And if you think she's being unfair when she's moody, when she withdraws, when she starts pushing boundaries, ask yourself, are you calm because she's calm, or are you calm regardless? Because if your emotions only stay in check when everything goes your way, you're not calm, you're just undisturbed, and there's a difference. Calm is when your core doesn't shift no matter what's happening around you. Calm is when you hear disrespect and choose dignity, when you see chaos and choose order, when you face uncertainty and choose patience. And the only way to build that is to get real with yourself, to sit in the feelings you usually run from, to pause before reacting, to feel the heat of emotion rising and still choose clarity. And this isn't about becoming numb, it's about becoming disciplined, because anger feels powerful until you realize it's just a distraction from your inability to control yourself. And that lack of control is why you keep attracting the same cycles. Arguments that go nowhere, connections that start fast and burn out, moments of regret after saying too much or reacting too soon. And if you're tired of that, if you're ready to rise above it, then it starts with one commitment. From now on, nothing outside of you gets to decide your internal state, not her mood, not her text, not her silence. Because when you stop giving your peace to other people, you reclaim your power. And when you have power, you don't need to dominate, you don't need to yell, you don't need to win every discussion, because your very presence communicates. I'm not here to argue, I'm here to stay aligned with truth. And that truth doesn't change just because someone else is uncomfortable with it. And that's the foundation of being calm under pressure. You are led by what is right, not what is reactive. And when you live like that, you become dangerous in the best way possible. Because no one can bait you, no one can shake you, no one can distract you from what matters most. And people start to feel that in the way you pause before speaking, in the way you don't flinch when challenged, in the way you stay grounded even when the world expects you to break. And that's not just attractive, it's transformational. Number 5, You don't give too much too soon. There's a difference between generosity and desperation, between being open and being reckless, and the line between the two is drawn the moment you give more than someone has earned. Because when you give too much too soon, you're not being kind. You're trying to secure something that isn't secure. You're trying to force connection through effort instead of letting it be built through mutual value. And this is one of the most destructive patterns men fall into without realizing it. Thinking that the more they give, the more they'll be loved. Thinking that showing how much they care will somehow create the same feeling in return. But that's not how people work, because appreciation isn't born from what you give. It's born from what you withhold until the right moment. And this doesn't mean playing games. It means respecting the natural pace of value exchange. Because when you give someone the ending before they've even earned the introduction, you're not building a bond. You're feeding a fantasy. And fantasies are always followed by disappointment. And if you've ever found yourself wondering why she pulled away right after you opened up, why she lost interest after you did everything right, why she started taking you for granted, even though you gave her the world, the answer is simple. You gave too much before she was ready to receive it. And instead of inspiring connection, you created pressure. And pressure kills desire faster than anything, especially when it's one-sided. And the problem is deeper than just texting too much or giving gifts. It's in the mindset that says, if I give more, I'll be chosen. And that mindset is rooted in lack, in the belief that who you are is not enough unless you're constantly proving your value, constantly performing, constantly making up for the fear that you might not be worth staying for. And that fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because people don't chase what's always available. They chase what's valuable, and value requires time, effort, consistency. Not just from you, but from them too. And if you're doing all the giving, all the planning, all the initiating, and getting breadcrumbs in return, then you're not building a relationship. You're building a shrine to someone who hasn't even shown up yet. And shrines don't create intimacy. They create imbalance. So here's what changes everything. You must learn to hold back, not out of strategy, but out of self-worth, to give in doses that match the energy coming in, to let people earn deeper levels of you one step at a time, not because you're afraid, but because you're secure, and security doesn't rush, it doesn't flood, it doesn't give away the treasure just because someone asked nicely. It waits, it watches, it evaluates, and only then does it reward. And when you operate from that mindset, your whole life changes. Because now you're not begging to be seen. You're choosing who gets access. You're not hoping to be kept. You're deciding who stays. And that shift creates mystery. It creates depth. It creates a kind of intrigue that keeps people coming back. Not because you're hiding, but because you're valuable. And people want to be part of what's valuable. But they don't want to be told everything on the first date. They don't want all your attention before they've shown any real investment. They want to feel like they earned the connection, and when they do, they respect it more. They hold it tighter. They value it deeper. And this is what you've been missing. Not love, not affection, not someone who understands you, but someone who's willing to match your energy without needing to be overfed with attention. And the only way to find that is to stop overgiving, to stop rewarding inconsistency, to stop performing emotional CPR on connections that are already dying. Because the right people don't need to be chased. They don't need to be convinced. They don't need to be constantly reminded of your value. They just show up, and they show up consistently. And when that happens, you'll know exactly how much to give and when to give it, because you're no longer giving from fear. You're giving from strength. Number 6, you stay on your mission. You were not made to orbit around another person's emotions. You were not born to adjust your rhythm every time someone else changes theirs. And yet this is the trap most people fall into. They begin with goals, with structure, with direction, and then someone enters their life and suddenly all of that dissolves. They start skipping workouts to respond to texts, delaying projects to soothe mood swings, changing plans to avoid arguments, and in doing so, they hand over the keys to their life's trajectory without even realizing it. And here's the harsh truth. The second you place someone else at the center of your emotional universe, you stop being the force and start becoming the follower. And no one, especially not someone who truly values strength, wants to follow a person who abandons themselves the moment affection shows up. Because that kind of affection is fragile, it's unstable, it's built on fantasy instead of foundation. And the foundation is your mission. The thing that doesn't disappear just because someone texts you late at night. The thing that doesn't fade just because someone says they miss you. The thing that pulls you out of bed when your body wants comfort and your mind wants validation. The thing that you do even when no one claps, even when no one thanks you, even when the people around you don't understand it, because your mission isn't for them, it's for you. And when you trade that for temporary connection, when you pause your grind just to chase someone who doesn't even value it, you lose more than time, you lose momentum. And momentum is the most precious resource you have, because once it's gone, it takes 10 times more effort to regain. And that's what nobody tells you. That the energy you waste chasing comfort is the same energy that could have built the life that made you unforgettable. And every time you choose distraction over direction, you move one step further away from the future you were meant to create. And if you've ever felt like you were on fire, like everything was clicking, like your days had purpose, and then suddenly it all fell apart the moment you got emotionally attached, it's not coincidence, it's consequence, because your focus got hijacked by your craving to feel wanted, and want is not the same as worth. You can be deeply wanted and completely disrespected at the same time, and unless your mission stays number one, you will keep falling into that cycle, where you feel like you have purpose until love walks in the door and convinces you to slow down. And that's not love, that's dependency disguised as romance. And if someone truly cares about you, they don't need to be your purpose. They want to support it. They want to walk beside it, not replace it, not distract you from it, not guilt you into choosing them over it. And if they do, then the choice is clear. Protect your mission because your future depends on it. And the reality is, most people don't have a mission. They have desires, they have feelings, they have fleeting dreams, but no structure. And when someone with no structure meets someone with direction, their instinct is to pull them off course, not maliciously, but naturally, because your focus triggers their insecurity, your drive highlights their drift, your consistency makes their inconsistency unbearable, and so they will pull, and they will distract, and they will ask you to slow down just so they feel better about their own lack of movement. And if you allow it, you will become them. You will forget who you were before you tried to please everyone. And the only way to avoid that is to become immovable, to become so locked into your own path that you no longer measure your progress by someone else's opinion, to become so convicted in your vision that even when love offers comfort, you stay loyal to growth. And growth isn't glamorous, it's painful, it's lonely, it's misunderstood. But it is the only thing that guarantees you become the kind of person that no one forgets. And this is what obsession is built on. Not muscles, not looks, not status, but depth. And depth comes from discipline, from being the same person every day regardless of who walks in or walks out, from being committed to your principles even when they cost you connection, from choosing your goals over distractions not once, but every single time, from being the kind of person who lives with such clarity that anyone who tries to pull them away gets tired before you do. And when you become that, you don't chase approval. Approval chases you. You don't need to prove your worth. Your worth proves itself. You don't argue about what you're building because your results speak for you. And this is where peace lives, not in comfort, not in being chosen by someone else, but in knowing that every single day you are honoring the life you were meant to live, that your mission is moving, that your standards are non-negotiable, and that anyone who steps into your life must come correct or not come at all, because your time is not free, your energy is not unlimited, your attention is not cheap, and your presence is not a consolation prize. It's a gift, one that gets given only to those who understand what it took to become the person you are now. And the only way to protect that is to keep building no matter what, no matter who texts, no matter who doubts, no matter who leaves, because people will always come and go, but your mission stays. And if you don't protect it, you lose not just your goals, but your identity. And that's a price too high for any distraction, no matter how pretty it looks in the moment. So from this point forward, you stay locked in. You show up for yourself like no one else ever has. You stop making excuses, stop delaying, stop waiting for someone to believe in you before you act, and you build like your life depends on it, because it does. If you're still here, it means something deep inside you knows you've been living beneath your potential, because no one ever handed you the truth until now. Society doesn't want you grounded, focused, and powerful. It wants you distracted, reactive, and dependent. That ends today. The Stoic relationship blueprint was built to flip that, packed with timeless principles that will rewire how you lead, speak, and get respected in every relationship. And now it's available as an audiobook, so you can absorb this life-altering wisdom while walking, lifting, even just clearing your head. The link's in the comments. Get it now, own it forever. If you're ready to never be the same again, comment, "I choose truth," like the video, and subscribe to help this message reach the men who need it most, before they waste another year chasing people who were never worth it.